I'm Patricia Licuanan. I'm the Chairperson of the Commission on Higher Education.
In this episode of People, we will get to know more about SHED Chair Dr. Patricia Licuanan as she talks about life as a mom, a woman, and a leader.
Thank you, Dr. Licuanan. People know you as SHED Chair, but there are a lot of people who want to find out, is Dr. Licuanan also just all the time being a SHED Chair? So we want to find out who really is Dr. Licuanan outside your...
I think a lot of people would say, wish that I'm not a SHED Chair. I have difficulty with that question because I'm not really compartmentalized. In fact, that's maybe part of the problem that I combine life and work, and all aspects of my life seem to flow into each other. So it's very difficult for me to say, what am I as SHED Chair? Am I different at home? Of course naman, in the sense that the setting is different, but my personality is basically the same.
And what is
serious, very like I'm reserved. So, and that's the way I tend to be as head of an agency. I am not, very sociable, and as a mother or as a woman, I'm not. Yeah, I don't have a lot of social events that I enjoy. I do it dutifully, so I choose what I'm supposed to go to and I do what I have to do, but it's not something I necessarily look forward to. I like being with my family, so my weekends are are quite the same. I cook, I plan our Sunday lunches, and I plan what to do with my grandson. I plan what surprise I have for him today. Next weekend we're going to swim, and so things like that.
So, if I would have to ask your children or your grandchildren a word that will best describe my very popular grandma, what do you think they will say?
That's a good question. Well, I think they will see me, I think, as rather work-oriented. So they all, when my kids were growing up, they all wanted to go to meetings because mom was always at meetings. It must be something important or great, and so maybe they all wanted to know what meetings were about because I was always at meetings. So I have always been a working mom. So that's part of it, and that they have gotten used to that. But I like to think I was very much there for my kids. I structured my life so that I could combine both work and family. So I would have certain rituals that were sacred up to now, sacred Sundays, no matter what. They can't get me out of the house or get me out of my family events on Sundays. So at any rate, this thing of mixing work and life is part of my challenge. It always has been.
Describe to us a typical Sunday with a surprise, as you said, right? So you love to have surprises, and then you said Sunday is a sacred day for you. Describe a typical Sunday with daughter.
Well, no. So typical weekend is essentially, Saturday is still an extension of work, only it's domestic. So that's when I do market, that's when I do groceries, that's when I do...
you still have time to go through that?
I do. Well, I do. Partly, I like markets. They're therapeutic. I like going to the market, and that's where also I I buy supplies, I order clothes, I do shopping. That's all Saturday and that's all work. But I'm also planning at the same time my Sunday meal. So that's a challenge to me because I cook, but I don't have a very wide repertoire. So
Favorite meal to cook?
well, I just cook what my kids like to eat. I cook cook pastas. They like pastas. They're carnivores, unfortunately. So I I have various types of meats that I cook. I cook a paella. So, but not an awful wide range of things. But what they like.
So you're saying that you're able to balance family and work. You think seamlessly, or is there like a little bit of I am more working than doing family activities?
No, well, I think precisely because luckily I'm not extremely sociable, so a lot of my quality time is really family, and that's my idea of fun. Well, first of all, it's hard to believe, but I enjoy my work, so that's fun too. And anytime I'm ready to relax, it's always family. Or, if I have a meeting in Makati, I ask, because my son lives in Makati, I say, okay, can we get together for dinner? So that's my idea of fun.
How is work fun?
How is work fun? Well, because I'm very serious, I told you, and I really am committed to, don't laugh, I'm committed to the country, I'm committed to doing something that will help improve the situation in the country. And so, my gosh, a government job in education, I mean, that's a wonderful opportunity.
So,
I cry.
Correct. When you wake up in the morning, what are the things that you think about right away? Is it work, or is it family, or is it both, or is it something else?
Well, I'll have to admit it's work because my family is kind of settled. I'm very lucky. I think both my children have lives that they seem to be managing quite well. But not so with work, not so the country perhaps, So I do. I am thinking of
Do you
work.
think about what other people think about you, or other people think about Chad when you go through the days?
Only, and this I mean it sincerely, only if it will affect the success of the work. If our image, if how people view me will enhance or restrict the effectiveness of the work, then it's important. But otherwise, no, not really.
So you do a lot of things during the day, during the week, and I'm sure at the end of the day, when you're about to sleep and about to pray, so what do you pray about? Is it
Well, of course, I always start with just making sure that my family is safe, and that they'll always be okay, even when I'm gone. But basically, again, I pray for the country. So I do. Those are the two things. I always ask God to take care of my family and to take care of the country. And ultimately, I believe she will.
So you're feminist by heart?
Yes, I am. Want to make something out of it?
And does that help you in managing Chad? Because and then the next question will be is there really a difference whether it's a man or a woman managing an education sector? I mean, a position such as Chad Chair. Whether it's better to be feminist?
I'm not sure because as being a social scientist, things have to be empirical. So of course there are impressions, but I don't know that the empirical data really shows that there is a difference, whether it's a man or a woman. But there are some things I have observed that I think a woman is more able to do that, mix various aspects of life together into one coherent whole. So
Career, family, and love, how do you rank them? And you have to explain to us why.
they're all combined. They have to be, yes, right. That was always very clear. I couldn't see myself being totally domestic. On the other hand, I couldn't see myself being a career person without the family life being there. I think it might sound corny, that's the wind beneath my wings,
Which one?
the family. So they have to be part of this. Of course, my husband has passed away, but he was also very supportive.
What do you think would be your legacy in Chad?
I hope I have one. Well, basically, there are certain programmed things that I hope to accomplish. I hope. Right now, there's such a big emphasis on access. The free tuition, allowing more poor students to have a college education. I think that's very important. We have a lot of innovations along that line. We would like to rationalize support for students. But having said that, I always try to remind people, all this is still just basically access. It has to be access to quality. And so that's why I worry also about this large investment into free tuition. It's wonderful, but I say there are other things to invest on. Please remember, after this, we have to be able to make sure that the institutions they go into, the higher education institutions, have the infrastructure, have the faculty, have the equipment and resources, and that needs further investment. And then above that, we have to be competitive. Looking around us, all our Asian neighbors are really going full speed ahead, and we have to be there with them. The Philippines cannot be left behind, and that's more investment as well. Investment in R&D, investment in a lot of things, which that's why I worry. That keeps me up nights, Ron. Can we really? Or maybe we can, because they say the money is there, but are the priorities there? No? So I have to, what can we do to convince people that research is worth investing in?
I'd like you to imagine, on your last day in Chad, you're delivering already your valedictory, so on and so on, what I've accomplished throughout my 6 years. What do you think you would say?
I was going to say, I didn't mention, right, because I said access and then quality and then competitiveness. However, also very important to me is an ethical agency. And so I would like to feel that somehow I have left behind a more ethical organization, a more ethical agency.
Three, do you think, of your greatest achievements so far? Just three.
I'm not ready to go yet. Why?
What did you say so far?
Well, I see myself as a builder of institutions. So essentially, so far, early in my career, I helped build the psychology department at the Ateneo, and so it is certainly been for years the center of excellence, and I think it's that I had a part of that. I cannot claim a major part of it, but I certainly had a significant role there. It's part of my younger years, and then of course I think maybe as president of Miriam College, essentially this identity and the importance we gave to being a women's college, I thought was very important, and the emphasis we gave on women's issues and the empowerment of girls and women. plus the other advocacies of women of Miriam, which was environment and peace. But its role as a 21st century women's college was very important, I believe. A third, I believe as well, is the work I've done on women's issues. As maybe helping build and raise the consciousness of Philippine society on women's issues through my work at the Philippine Commission on Women. And I guess as part of that, when we had the Fourth World Conference on women, maybe that was an accomplishment because I helped craft and negotiate and finally develop the Beijing Platform for Action, which still remains as the blueprint, for gender equality and women's empowerment.
What would you tell girls, little girls, who maybe in the future will be women leaders as well? What should they do? How should they act?
I guess I would have a number of key things that I'd like to tell my daughter. Well, first of all, that she can be anything she wants to be. It just takes hard work. It doesn't just happen. It takes work, but you can do it. And maybe a second, and don't be trapped by stereotypes. No, I'd like them to live in a world that is less stereotyped and with less stereotyped roles, so that they really think and believe that they can do anything that they want to do. And never let a man define you, because that is so common. You're defined by whether men approve of you, find you beautiful, give you space. That's the reality, but that's not the way it should be. So, what is it? Who was it who said, a woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle? In other words, sure, you don't need, and I don't mean to be anti-men by saying that. It's just that you have to counter the existing culture where people define themselves as, nako, wow, I don't have anyone on Valentine's Day. So what? Well, is that a big deal? No? So that type of thing, when you're who you are and what you're able to do is not defined by anybody, and particularly not a man. No? So that's my message. Be your own person and do your thing and find your dream. But always, so that sometimes is worrisome because it seems a little bit self-oriented. No, because part of that dream should be what you can do to make a better world. No? That's what will make it truly meaningful. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Patricia Licuanan, Chairperson of the Commission of the Higher Education, an educator, a fun lola, a caring mom, and the leading voice of women in the Philippines.